probably throwing a couple extra questions.
Yeah. Well, I brought a couple of extra things too. So, oh no, it's good stuff. They sent out our end of the month financial reports this morning from the auditor's office. So I just brought that along for fun. Good morning. How are you? A beautiful day, huh?
Is it?
It is, yeah. Our wells are getting filled up.
Yes, they got filled up over last week. Would say so.
Yes, sir.
Give it a couple minutes and we'll start on time here, Greg.
Okay. I like it.
How you been?
Not bad. Wish I could say the same for my staff. Oh,
Yeah.
Getting wrecked over there.
Yeah?
I was here Friday by myself, and there's only two of us today. Just sick.
Yeah.
You know,
It's that time of year.
it is, and
I can
you know
tell
we're
in my
small,
house.
right?
Yeah, I can
And
tell
so,
in my house with the kids. They're just kind of going round and round. You know?
yeah. You know. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Gretchen.
Good morning, Brian.
We saved you a seat.
Oh, yeah, let's see. Me,
Yeah.
I could just, if there weren't arms there, I could lay down in comfort.
All right. Computer says it's 11 o'clock.
All right.
We're on the dot.
Okay, I don't have anything listed under staffing and personnel, but I'll just, for the record, tell you that the flu bug or whatever's been going around the office, and it's got two out today sick. That's kind of tough to cover all that when we got two inspectors out in the field, and you know,
Right.
yeah, cuts us kind of
Which
thin.
stands, there's not very many people over there.
Yeah, right. It's dark over there.
Yes.
Let's see, moving on to the administrative section. We held our first workshop on the sub area plan, and it was fairly well attended. Actually, I was kind of surprised. We had all but one member of the planning commission even was there. The one that wasn't there told me he couldn't make it that night. So that was nice. We had a lot of participation. It's a 13-page document, and we went for a little over 2 hours and didn't even get through the whole thing. The whole point of it was it's not something they had seen before, other than when I sent it out to them at the beginning of the month. And so it's just about going through it, getting familiar with it, and things that they obviously felt shouldn't be there, kind of striking through them and things like that. But we did get a lot of input, especially from the tribe. So it was a good meeting. Our next one we're going to do on the 28th of November. It'll be posted, published, all of that too. And as I think you know, we're going to hold that right here in this room.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple questions on the sub area plan.
Okay.
Can you give us just a high level idea? What are the advantages of that? What's the purpose of a sub area plan? What does that allow us to do?
So the sub area plan is going to be over more densely populated areas that have commercial and maybe industrial uses already in place. Lusk and Diamond Lake. And so within the entirety of the comp plan and development regulations, they're geared more towards the rural areas as opposed to the higher density areas. They typically have public services, water, sewer, mostly paved roads in those denser areas as well. And so what this does is allows us to put more of, in essence, a zoning overlay over that, the area that we would define, and then allows more uses that would be more in tune with the higher densities. So, you know, you can allow a convenience store, gas station, things like that, more so than you would, you know, just like halfway up to Ione or something, right? So
it would be fair to say that's a focus area you would take, you know, versus the comp plan, which is a high level overview.
Right.
The sub-area plan is a focused area where we're going to look at this area as a whole.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the overall mission will be to get this one finished first, and then we'll take up and go to Diamond Lake next. And we'll see. There's going to be could be a heavy lift out there, but we'll take that.
Right. So I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Is this reference to the sub-area plan? Is this to the USC sub-area plan?
Yes, sir.
And is there a separate sub-area plan for each of the sub-areas?
There will be.
So how many sub-area plans will there be in total for the county?
I don't envision there being more than two.
Oh.
Usk and Diamond Lake.
Okay.
But there are areas defined within the original even comp plan that talked about areas like by Sasheen, Tiger, you know, maybe those might need a little more growth in those areas before it warrants its own plan, I think.
So by definition, it's an area of denser population.
Yes.
But outside a municipality.
Correct. Okay. And outside an urban growth.
And outside an urban growth.
Yeah.
So you could look at like Tiger Sloughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So those are listed.
Right.
I want to say there was 8 of them on there that were listed.
Okay.
But I don't think all of them really warrant one at this time.
Right. Like for instance, Tiger Sloughs would have no commercial, nothing going on there right now.
Right. And we don't want to stick them in a box where they don't really necessarily belong.
Right.
Cause trouble for ourselves in the future.
Okay.
So I did not invite everybody that was on the steering committee from before to this particular meeting because I envisioned that it was going to be just what it was. It was just getting familiar with the document and all that, and I didn't want to waste anybody's time. They will, from this point forward, be invited to attend or Zoom in for their input, and also Loggins, the railroad, and Merkle Standard will be invited as well. The land use applications, they are down some, which we expected, but overall, it's only, as you can see, 50 total permits down. That's in the land use and building combined. So that I was surprised by that, but you can see where the bulk of them are. They're shoreline, boundary line adjustments, and then when you get into the building permits. And so you see we have 65 new homes. I didn't think it was that high, but it is. And so I went through one of Savannah's reports that I emailed Crystal this morning, so I think she probably sent them to you. And I was just going to share overall the grand total is $2.1 million in improvement value. And that seems like a big number, right? But that's construction cost. That's not finished building costs. So that 2.1, then when they start putting in, if they put in high-end finishes, then that raises their market value. And so they're going to be taxed at even more than what the construction value is, which remarkably is $300 a square foot right now. Wow. It's stunning to me. Wow. And we are up to 281 building permits in total. And those, of course, include someone getting a new wood stove or deck replacement, things like that, if it's an attached structure. And then the last thing I have for this is I've got my budget performance report this morning. And I thought, well, that looks pretty good for the year. So just to jump to the back page, we're at 78% on our expenses and 104% on our revenue. So we're in good shape.
Now, if we can just reproduce that throughout the county, we'd be in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to narrow it down. You look at the line items on here. Some of them give you grief or give me grief. Like, wow, we missed that one. But the overall looks good. And I think on my budget workshop with you, we addressed most of these that were wildly out of control.
Mhm.
ER&R and things like that. And then again, I think I shared with you, we were not necessarily classifying things where they belonged, and now we are, and so that changed the whole thing. So most of my things were based on, we're putting it in the right bucket now, we need to put money in that bucket, right? We can take it from here and put it there, but we need to do that. So that's really all I have this morning, unless there's anything you guys want to discuss.
Questions for us at all?
I don't think so. I think we're moving along pretty good. I'd still offer you the opportunity to provide comments on the sub-area plan if you'd like. It's not too late. I think the planning commission will let me know if you have anything too. I shared with them that we started out, so we had the original last version, and then I made the updated version, and I took that my update off the table, and we started just with the last one the steering committee put together, right? Because I want it based on their work. Unless I get input from you that says go otherwise, that's kind of how I'm going to go forward with this. And there are some, yeah, I mean, it's a almost 7-year-old document now, right? So if there are things that kind of need, and it's not, it's not overly taxing to go through. It in a lot of ways mimics what we've got in the dev regs. And there are just some specific areas for industrial, commercial, and things of that nature. But just, if you can look at the language and anything you want to add, subtract, whatever, mark it up, send it back, and we'll share that with the planning commission as well.
Okay.
Very good.
And where, can you give me just a sort of your best guess as to the sort of timeline for not sort of starting with at the end, is a sub-area plan adopted?
Yes.
Okay. Working backwards from there, sort of how long is the call and response period with the major players? And I mean, Gretchen coming in and saying, here's what I'd like to see. Sort of what kind of duration are we talking about?
Well, I think it depends on how much input we get, frankly. Okay. The hang up the last time in terms of the large industrial players in the area, they wanted to be heavy industry. And there was some within the steering committee, and there was disagreement on, they didn't necessarily want to say this is heavy industry because of the implied uses that were out there, right, or available for heavy industry. But I think we can work that down to not stick them in a box necessarily, but at least to be confined to some industry standards that they would be held to. And not necessarily, we're going to have explosives now or something of that nature, right? We want to stick within the framework of what they do. And so I think we can get there on that. I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest hurdles to overcome, because it was last time. That's the only reason I say that. And it may not be. I might get surprised and we may figure it out and move right through. I was hopeful that by the beginning of the year, January, February, it would come before you. Again, it depends on once we get the players back to the table, what they want to bring in. I didn't and still don't necessarily think there's going to be any wholesale changes because it's their document, right? They were invested in it and they helped put it together. I think it's just a cleanup of some terms and then figure out what to do with those 3 heavy industrial sites. How do we work those?
Right. Well, I hope that's right. Does the process front load collisions, meaning is the way the input from all the players structured such that whatever disagreements and whatever sort of flashpoints are going to occur, can they occur really early in the process as opposed to getting to the 11th an hour and having a oh darn moment?
That's our hope. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now. Yes. Yeah. Which is another reason I'd like some input from you guys if you have any. You may not have any, that's okay. But anything that strikes you, that would be one other thing that we need to balance. Yeah, we need to get get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, my hope is, and I think we're on the same page, my hope is that that perspective is sort of across everyone in the county who's going to have an opinion, such that those opinions are brought into the mix really early. So at the start of the process, oh, we're going to have a problem here. Let's get that on the table.
That's our whole plan of attack.
Okay.
Exactly that. Let's try and get it all ironed out up front before we move it forward. So the process in terms of actually, going through this and getting it for you is very similar to what it would be for the comprehensive plan. We go through the public process, then we have a public hearing with the planning commission. They make a recommendation to you, and then you act on their recommendation. And then it also has to go through commerce, secret review, all those things. Just like I think I shared with you before, the nice thing about our sub-area plan is it doesn't count as your annual update. It stands alone, and we can turn it in at any time. We don't have, it's a kind of a unique animal in that respect. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to see exactly how much work was done already. We had a consultant at the time that was running this, and I'm trying to, I was told at the last meeting that it was sent to Commerce, and I can't find it anywhere that shows that. And I'm also trying to find out if there was a CEPA done, and I'm not finding any of that. So I'm trying to clean up that back end part of that stuff. So we can, it's not too late. We'll just get it in there, get it in the hopper.
Right.
So we have a new contact at Commerce, be the fourth one in the last 5 years. So I don't know how much he's going to know either, but we'll get it because the original guy's still there.
Sub-area plan for Cusick area. This is already quite a ways down the road. If there was another one, say for Diamond Lake, what would be the time frame from starting from scratch? Is that significantly longer time frame?
Depends on how well we put together the original document to propose, right?
Okay.
See, I don't envision necessarily any industrial areas in the Diamond Lake one, for instance. It would be largely commercial because that's what's out there you see already, right? And so it's just finding that match where the homeowners, particularly on each side of Highway 2 here, where the homeowners and the businesses can coexist without, harming each other with our regulations or one or the other, and how much is too much and how much is not enough, and just find that balance in there. And also comes into play the ability to serve with water and sewer, because I know they're kind of in a difficult spot right now too, because there are commitments out there for many hookups that I don't think they could provide if they had to right now. And so that plays a part too. Water and sewer in Usk they're working to upgrade. So that helps that situation a little. But this one, they're already serving everything within this boundary, but we don't want to overburden them by allowing things that they can't serve. Right. So we got to find that balance too. But they'll be at the table. Okay. So, or I hope they will. They'll be invited to the table. Let's put it that way. Right. Yeah.
Very good. Any other questions, Robert?
No.
Yeah, I think we're good. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think I'm on for the next thing too.
Capital projects?
Yeah.
Or did I send you the?
You sent it to me a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
11:30. Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna hang out, or you're gonna come back?
I'll probably come back.
Okay.
Make sure.
Given there's nobody over there.
Yeah, well, Dennis is over there. So, I don't know if he's got to go out or not. It depends on how the inspection load is laid out. It's
Yes.
county, so
Yes.
sometimes we'll do some of the lower end north stuff on days where we can, instead of just confining it to 2 days. So,
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
all right, thank you guys.
So I invited you to that capital projects budget review because all of those that are approved in the capital projects, like the end of comp plan.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I doubt that I'll have anything to add. I just got to get the finished product in. It's an interesting thing. I don't understand why the state mandates that the capital facilities and the transportation plans be part of the comprehensive plan. We should certainly work with those departments and make sure that we are working together on them. I'm not sure why it belongs in the comprehensive plan. I don't understand that part of it, but that's what the law says. So that's what we do, right?
If you want to join via Zoom, if that'd be.
Okay, that would be helpful. Yeah, in case I got to answer the front counter or something.
All right,
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
and just be available if Jill has any questions, maybe, or Red has any questions.
I'll be there.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Greg.
Enjoy the rest of your day.